Right before we begin today's video, if you'd like to receive alerts about some of the best credit card offers, just go to this link in the description below to subscribe to my credit card offer alerts. Simply enter your name and email and I'll start sending you those alerts for free. Remember when credit card benefits were, well, simple? You'd sign up, hit a spending bonus, and suddenly you had enough miles for a free flight to Hawaii or several days in a ritzy hotel. And best of all, it was easy. But lately, something's changed. That straightforward path to aspirational travel and just overall high value broadly seems to be much more like navigating a complex jungle. High value redemptions are harder to find, points are worth less, and instead of just travel, now we're seeing benefits spread really thin across a variety of lifestyle benefits. Unfortunately, this shift represents the foreseeable future of credit cards, at least as I see it. And today's video is going to lay out the major trends that we're seeing that I believe will continue for years to come, whether we like it or not. Buckle up, here we go. Trend number 1, more portal-driven rewards. The Capital One Venture X will award you 10 miles per dollar on hotels and rental cars when you book them through the Capital One Travel portal, as well as 5 miles per dollar on flights and vacation rentals booked through that same portal. The new revamped version of the Chase Sapphire Reserve now gives you 8 points per dollar on your travel purchases when they're booked through the Chase Travel portal. Even this card's little brother, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, also gives you 5 points per dollar on Chase Travel through that portal. And even the entry-level $0 annual fee Chase Freedom Unlimited also gives you 5% cash back in the form of 5 points per dollar through the same portal too. The Amex Platinum Card has a great 5 point per dollar multiplier for hotels, but only if they're prepaid and booked through the AmexTravel.com portal. Citi also plays this game too with their Strata Premier card. They give you 10 points per dollar on hotels, car rentals, and attractions through the CitiTravel.com portal. And the $0 annual fee Double Cash card also gives you 5% cash back in the form of 5 points per dollar on those same select Citi Travel purchases through the Citi portal. That's right, if you want to earn more points faster, be prepared to spend more often through a bank's proprietary portal. At which point you'd have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay a 4% higher price, for example, to earn 5% more rewards, or maybe only 2% more in rewards? As long as the math still works out in your favor, then all is still fine. But if not, it's like you're paying to earn more rewards. And then it would not be worth it. Also keep in mind the inconveniences of using portals too. Sometimes when it comes to reaching customer service during irregular operations, cancellations, or delays. And especially on the hotel side, you may or may not earn hotel points, elite status, or have your elite benefits recognized depending on the hotel chain. And that would eliminate the double, triple, or quadruple dipping opportunities. Up next, more merchant-driven benefits. Let's take a look first here at the new revamped Chase Sapphire Reserve. You'll notice some benefits here with Apple TV and Apple Music, a couple more with Dash Pass / DoorDash, another with StubHub, then Lyft credits and accelerated point earnings, and also Peloton. The Amex Platinum follows a similar pattern with Uber, Saks Fifth Avenue, Clear, Resi, and others. And even some of the airline cards are starting to play this merchant game too. The Citi Advantage Executive Card now has partnerships and credits with Lyft, Grubhub, and Avis / budget rental cars. The new United Explorer card has a credit with Instacart. And if you thought these types of credits only came on annual fee cards, well, you'd be wrong. Check out the $0 annual fee Chase Freedom Flex. This one has partnership benefits with DoorDash and Lyft. And the Blue Cash Everyday card by American Express, also with no annual fee, gives an $84 Disney bundle credit. What's really happening here is that the banks are therefore saving a lot of money by issuing these credits if they're funded by the other merchant partners. So we as consumers will have to really pay attention here. Are we going to get value out of these? Do we normally transact with these brands if we didn't have this credit card in our wallets or not? And there's another downside to having these merchant-driven credits too, which leads us to our next trend, which is incentivizing 1x rewards. That is earning 1 point per dollar spent. Since the Chase Sapphire Reserve does not have any sort of entertainment reward multiplier, if you transact and buy tickets on StubHub, for instance, you'll earn 1 point per dollar, even though, yes, you will get your credits. Looking back again to the Amex Platinum Card, whenever you buy something on Uber, whether it's a ride or food delivery, something like that, anything beyond the credit will earn 1 point per dollar. Same with your transactions on Saks Fifth Avenue, also your Clear membership for any portion that's not covered by the credit, and also your dining on the Resi platform too. The Amex Platinum does not have any reward multipliers that give you 2, 3, 4, or 5 points per dollar on the likes of dining or retail or transit. And we could even take one more step further with this and say the same for digital entertainment like your streaming subscriptions and also Walmart. All those are 1x too. And that City Advantage Executive Card, whenever you go ahead and transact with Lyft or Grubhub or your rental cars, there are no reward multipliers giving you anything better than 1 mile per dollar there either. To be fair though, some of these merchant partnerships, especially when they issue credits, may also layer on another rewards part here to give you a better accelerated rewards earning rate. So with that Chase Sapphire Reserve, when you see a Lyft, it's not just your credits, it's also 5 points per dollar. And with Peloton, it's also not just credits, it's 10 points per dollar. There may be some restrictions though where it says eligible purchases only or a dollar amount, like with Peloton it has to be over $150. Regardless, when the credit and reward multipliers come together, that's a great superpower of a benefit. But as you saw with some other examples, very often it's just 1 point per dollar in order to earn the credit. So pay attention and really ask yourself, if you can only get 1 point per dollar on Grubhub for instance, but some other card would give you 3, 4, 5 points per dollar on dining, including eligible delivery services, then that other card would be a much better option potentially. There's always that opportunity cost, so be aware of what you're signing up for and what you're using. This next trend is quite interesting. The banks are creating what I call super ecosystems. Many of them have created or are in the process of creating their own travel portals and improving them over time as well. They're also making their own shopping portals and dining portals and other partnerships like we've seen with those brands, and all of that will now tie into their credit card products. Why would the banks go through all this effort to make their own in-house stuff? Which, by the way, may be powered by other companies' platforms on the back end. Regardless though, they're white labeled and branded as Chase, Amex, US Bank, etc. The reasons for this are quite simple. Number one, to drive higher profitability, because if you transact within their own world, they'll have more control and leverage over offering commissions and rewards and negotiating contracts with their partners. And number two, to drive more revenue per consumer. The more that we transact within the world of Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, or whatever bank we're talking about, the more revenue they'll get from us, and hopefully if it's a win-win setup, we as consumers will also get more back in rewards. Banks always love it when revenue goes up and costs go down. Now, if you find yourself disappointed with the direction many credit cards are going, like me, I do have some good news. You can always buck the trend of all this crazy complexity by keeping things really, really simple. One way you can do that is by choosing credit cards with no annual fee, strong rewards, and no need to track a million benefits on a spreadsheet. That's why I'm happy today's video is sponsored by the Gemini credit card, the only instant crypto reward credit card. To start, the rewards are straightforward and cover a lot of useful everyday categories, like 4% back on gas, EV charging, and transit-related purchases on up to $300 in spend every month, 3% back on dining, 2% back on groceries, and 1% back on your other purchases. The best part? The rewards are instant, so you can benefit from any price appreciation. No need to wait until after your billing cycle closes. In fact, Bitcoin rewards earned and held for 1 year on the Gemini credit card have appreciated 176% on average. You can pick Bitcoin or 50 plus other cryptos and switch anytime. Moreover, this World Elite MasterCard has no annual fee. See rates and fees in the description for more info. And as such, you won't be charged any foreign transaction fees when traveling abroad. And for a little added fun, this card comes in a metal design and allows you to choose between 4 different colors. Choose between Bitcoin orange, black, silver, or rose. To sign up for the Gemini credit card, head to gemini.com/MarkReese and get $200 in crypto when you spend $3,000 in your first 90 days. Click the link or go to gemini.com/MarkReese to apply and start earning instantly. Now back to the rest of the video. We all love this next one. Higher annual fees. For some context and an example, the Chase Sapphire Reserve initially launched back in August of 2016, and the annual fee was $450. Fast forward now to January 2020, it also went up to $550. Then here we are closer in today's world of June 2025. It's now a $795 card. The Amex Platinum Card has followed a similar path, although it's been around much longer than the Sapphire Reserve, and when it first came out, probably in the 200s for the annual fee. In more recent history, we saw it at $450 in earlier years. Then it went up to $550 in March 2017, and now here we are in July 2021 at $695, possibly going up even higher in 2025. These spikes in annual fees are not just for the bank's own cards either, but rather also the co-branded cards we've seen. So like with Delta, those cards got a major overhaul earlier in 2025 with increased annual fees. And shortly after that, United followed suit, with their cards also bringing new benefits and bigger annual fees. Then back in 2023, that Citi Advantage Executive Card also got enhanced benefits, with its annual fee going from $450 to $595. And we also saw the authorized users going from $0 each to $175. There's this little thing called inflation that drives prices up over time, and also as cards do try to become more relevant, reinvent themselves, and enhance their benefits, those enhancements always do come at some sort of a cost. If we're playing this game the right way though, we should be able to use the benefits on a card to get more value out of them than the cost. So with those crazy fees of, let's say, $795 now for the Sapphire Reserve, if we can get $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 of value out of it, then it can still make good sense. Jumping over to our next trend, we're likely going to keep seeing more benefits at a price. If you want unlimited access to the Delta Sky Club, for instance, you'll get the Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card and spend $75,000 on it before that benefit is unlocked. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve gives some very attractive benefits here, including IHG One Rewards Diamond Elite status, a $500 credit to be used with Southwest Airlines, and also Southwest A-List Elite status, and a $250 credit to be used at the shops at Chase. You can get all four of those, but only if you spend $75,000 on your card annually. On the hotel credit card side, one of the best benefits of all time is getting free night certificates or bonus points every year that can be used for a free night. With the Hilton Honors Surpass credit card, you can definitely get one, but not just by default. You can get it by spending $15,000 on your card. And with the Bonvoy Brilliant, it gives you a choice reward that you can choose every year, but that is only unlocked if you spend $60,000. For something on the more affordable side though, the Alaska Airlines Visa Signature Card gives you a companion fare potentially every year, but you must spend $6,000. And now going right back up with the high spend again with the Aeroplan card, you can earn an elite status level up of one tier to 35K status or higher for existing status holders with $50,000 in account spend. Most travel credit cards for years have had sort of a pay-to-play sentiment about them anyway, but now it's becoming much more of a spend-to-play if you want some of the really good benefits. And even if you're able to spend $6,000, $15,000, $50,000 or more to unlock certain premium benefits on certain cards, what's going to happen here is that we're going to be able to do it probably less and less across more cards. Stated a better way, you probably won't be able to do this on a ton of cards every single year. So we'll have to really ask ourselves, what do we value the most? Is it elite status with IHG or Marriott or some sort of perk with an airline? Or maybe a broader general travel card? We'll have to choose one or two of them, drive our spend through those cards to unlock those benefits, but we're probably not going to be able to unlock those benefits on 5, 6, or 7 cards anymore, because a lot of these spend requirements are pretty high. Here's another one for you all. The rise of premium lifestyle cards. If you had asked me 7 to 10 years ago if I saw cards like this coming, I probably would have said no. We had travel cards and we had cashback cards and that was it. But the line is starting to blur quite a bit in terms of what defines just a strict travel card. At least in my mind, the card that really pioneered this from a marketing perspective was the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite Credit Card, because they simply said right up front, Receive up to $150 annually for lifestyle conveniences, including video streaming services, food delivery, fitness subscriptions, and rideshare services. Our lovely refreshed Chase Sapphire Reserve also says over $1,500 in annual lifestyle value, referring to the stuff with StubHub, Apple, and others. None of these really have anything to do with travel, although this card has historically been marketed as a travel credit card. We could say the exact same thing with the Amex Platinum Card, a premier travel card for its insurance protections, rewards, and other things of that nature, but now we're seeing a major expansion into things like digital entertainment, the partnership with Walmart, also the partnership with Saks Fifth Avenue, and also doing much in the way of events. I suppose you could stretch it and say, well, I booked an event in another state or country and now I'm traveling to go to the event. But still, one is entertainment and one is travel. The line is blurred. This is clearly one of the best ways for a bank to get its product in the hands of more people. Not everybody travels 4 times a month as a traveling consultant. But when some people who travel moderately to infrequently, maybe 1 to 4 trips a year, maybe more on leisure, perhaps they do prefer an elevated experience and want to really treat themselves well. So things like great rewards on travel, certain credits to use, and other things that can benefit them while they're at home not traveling collectively makes for a broader lifestyle card, and therefore a broader, easier value prop to sell to consumers. Never forget that banks want the greatest share of your wallet as possible. So every time you pull out that Chase, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo card, the banks want you to use that card as your only card for everything. And the broader the appeal they can make the card have to you, the greater chance they have at making that a reality for them. For this next trend, I won't necessarily call it a true downside, but it is a bit more of a hassle or inconvenience. With all the influx of new benefits that we've been seeing on these cards, they're not all created equal. Some of these require enrollment or activation prior to use. That StubHub credit, for instance, on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, requires activation. On the Chase Freedom Flex card, in order to earn 5% back in select quarterly categories, you must activate. If you get the US Bank Altitude Connect Visa Signature card, that one does give you airport lounge access via Priority Pass, but as we know, Priority Pass does not come automatically ready to go once you get and activate your credit card. You must then go to the special link and enroll in Priority Pass to activate the membership. And to throw one more example in here that pretty much no one ever talks about, with the IHG One Rewards Premier credit card, that one gives you up to $50 of United Airlines Travel Bank cash every year. But neither Chase nor IHG know if you already have a United account and what your membership number would be. So therefore, you've got to activate it. Browsing through the small fine print in the terms and conditions, it shows that you must complete your one-time registration at the special link of ihg.com/united. Whenever you get a new credit card, be sure to read the terms and conditions to understand if you have to activate or enroll in certain benefits first. Because if you don't, and you just show up to that Priority Pass lounge and they won't let you in, or you transact on StubHub and don't get your credit, now you probably know why. One easy way to eliminate the hassle factors to whenever you get a new card, just go online on your dashboard and activate everything all at once. Even if you don't think you'll use a certain benefit, just turn it on so that way you'll be ready to go. This second to last one has been around for quite some time, but I think we're going to continue seeing more of it. It is spend caps. Let me give you a few examples. The US Bank Altitude Connect card gives you 4 points per dollar at gas stations and EV charging, but only on your first $1,000 spent each quarter. The Amex Gold card issues 4 points per dollar at restaurants worldwide on up to $50,000 total in purchases for the year, and 4 points per dollar on groceries at US supermarkets, with a cap here of $25,000 per year. The Cash Plus card from US Bank gives you 5% cash back on your first $2,000 in combined eligible purchases every quarter on your 2 categories. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless gives you triple points on the first $6,000 spent in combined purchases every year on grocery stores, gas stations, and dining. And the Chase Inc. Business Preferred card has a triple point category on the first $150,000 spent in combined purchases across shipping, advertising, internet, cable and phone, and travel all together. a relatively low cap for a mid-sized business that spends in all of those areas. So what we're referring to here is a limit on how many points you can earn at a higher multiplier every year or quarter or however they divide it. We're likely going to see these caps when you spend outside of a bank's portal, because when you're within the bank's ecosystem, then they're more likely to give you higher rewards without having to say you can only go to $2,000 per quarter, because the bank is making more money on those types of transactions. So if you do something like airfare or dining or perhaps utilities, in the case of a Cash Plus card from US Bank, those are gonna have those caps. This next trend is likely to disappoint a lot of people, myself included, because we've likely had first-hand experience with this more than once. Reduced lounge access. Because there's so many varied examples of this, we're going to choose one that really highlights a lot of the changes, and that is with Delta Sky Clubs. You may recall that the new access rules took effect earlier this year in 2025, starting February 1st. One of the changes that we saw come about here is that access to Delta Sky Clubs is only permitted within 3 hours of your flight's departure, unless you have a connecting flight. Second, only passengers who have a boarding pass for a Delta flight on the same day are eligible. Third, passengers flying basic economy fares do not have access. And fourth, passengers who have certain American Express cards will be allotted a certain number of days to visit Sky Clubs every year. You can see down below if you have the Delta Reserve, personal or business, or the Amex Platinum Card, personal or business, you get 15 visits annually or 10 annually respectively. Then regarding the guest policy, if you have the Delta Reserve card, you only get 4 one-time passes for your guests every year. And then if you go beyond that, then you can actually bring only 2 guests at a rate of $50 each. Then more recently, you probably saw the news that the Capital One Venture X card no longer includes free guests, and that also goes for authorized users. There are some workarounds and fees that you can pay instead, but the free access is gone. If you want to learn more about the Capital One Venture X changes, watch this video right here. And of course, with Priority Pass, we've been seeing a massive strip down of benefits for a number of issuers. Just to illustrate this, we saw with the Chase Sapphire Reserve some time ago, back in 2024, where you no longer have access to the Priority Pass restaurant locations. A big driving force of all these changes from many issuers and networks over time has likely been overcrowding. There have been times where I've gone to lounges where it's standing room only, or even seen a line out the door waiting to get in. That could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or longer. And if you're paying an annual fee of $400 or higher for lounge access, all that really taints your experience, making it much harder for card issuers and lounge operators to sell people on the value of a lounge if you can't even get in, or if you do, you have a bad experience. There's got to be a balance here between good experience and enough people to where the lounge concept itself is still profitable. And our last trend here, which is quite heartbreaking as well, is dynamic award pricing. Where we used to have nice award charts where it shows you based on distance or based on region. For example, if you fly from point A to point B, then it is always going to be 50,000 miles. All those set in stone charts have been basically eradicated from a lot of different airline and hotel programs, and now it can fluctuate by the actual seasonality, the demand, or the cash rates themselves. So where one flight could be $400 this month, or the same route could be $600 the following month, same thing with the point prices. They could be 50,000 points now, or 59,500 the next week, or a lot worse. We saw this with the Hilton program, which increased their point costs and added variable standard pricing. Same with American Airlines adopting dynamic award pricing with their new award chart. Marriott Bonvoy also moved to dynamic pricing and removed their reward charts altogether. And of course, Southwest rolled out the same type of thing, devaluing their points, and also Lufthansa. The examples here are many, and I could keep on going for minutes. I won't make this video too torturous for you though. All this is to say that the points that you need to redeem for a night or a flight can vary dramatically now, which in turn means it's more difficult these days to get massively outsized value for your redemptions. I wish I could have been the bearer of great news in this video, but unfortunately, as you saw, most of these trends for the future of credit cards are looking kind of negative. Therefore, it's really up to us to be smart users of the reward programs themselves to find ways to extract good value. And should you want to learn more about how to do exactly that, watch this video next about how the #1 threat to credit card rewards is getting a lot worse, and some great tactics about how to fight back against it. That way, you can still win. Thank you all for watching. I hope it was helpful. And before you go, check out the links down below in the description area for some great resources. You can sign up for my credit card offer alerts. That way you'll be informed when big offers become available. Then earn some more cash back whenever you shop online through Rakuten. You can even switch your reward preference over to Amex membership reward points if you like. And for those of you who are into crypto, you can also learn more about and apply for the Gemini credit card. I'll see you all in the next video.